I was just kind of kidding when I was acting condescending towards this email, and I think you know, Craig's glad that people are writing in with their comments and stuff, and I'm sure Robin would love to like talk to anybody who has like any ideas and stuff like that. But so far as like the facts go, Robin, I know like most of your events actually have been like first-time events, like never been done before.
Yeah, definitely. It's been something I've been trying for the whole year.
But there's certainly always room to improve, so you know, we're always willing to hear your comments.
Really cool. Also, I may or may not be correct here, but when I see like right at the end, they said, but what about putting together a group of students to help brainstorm and plan? Don't you already have like a social committee that meets and does that?
Yeah. We have stuff that we meet. We try to meet at least once a week, and it's a group of students that have been selected, and they kind of help me come up with ideas and also help me execute different.
Kind of help you keep the pulse.
Yeah, and I have my entire essay officers also, you know, so got a good team behind me.
All right, cool. All right, next email. Like a lot of people, I don't see the problems in student activism stemming from essay officers who plan them so much as the people who lead them. Honestly, I know that the essay president's name is Derek, and that's it. I hardly see him involved with or excited about the events and publications here at PUC. He should be the forefront of essay, the face, and barely anybody knows who he is or where to find him. It's time to step up and lead. Go beyond the minimum call of duty. Also, I think that the administration needs to step up and stop being such a hindrance. I heard rumblings that such things as campus center concerts and events that involve dancing were hotly contested by the administration. I understand that we depend on alumni donations and such, but to do much to the extent of putting a chokehold on campus life, open your minds and wake up. We need to have an administration that allows for fun and unique campus life, and student leadership that is present and pushes until that happens. So with that, there are basically two things that are brought up, and they were your role as president, Derek, and also the role of the administration and kind of being a roadblock to some of the things that we want to do that probably aren't necessarily kosher a lot with some of the other previous generations. And so, like, probably, I guess because the administration, obviously the president and you, Derek, like, I give you an opportunity to kind of like address this and just kind of talk about it.
Being a figurehead for the student association and the student body was one of my main objectives coming into office. The first thing I tried to do to achieve that objective was to do door-to-door visitation in the dorms, which I think turned out really well. Unfortunately, we were unable to do door-to-door visitation in the female dorms, although that was something I wanted to do. But I think that was a little bit too ahead of its time, unfortunately. And one thing you learn as you assume office is that you can have a bunch of great ideas, but you have to work with the administration at hand, and you have to work with reality in a way. So I would have liked to have visited every single person, and I think that would have been an excellent time to discuss ways in which the SA could have met their needs. And we did end up visiting several hundred people, most of the entirety of Newton and Granger. And so I think in part it went well. So far as being a figurehead in other aspects, it's hard to find the venues to do so. I know when we have colloquies, we're up there. But yeah, I mean, I'll try and think of.
Right.
I try and be friendly, and I try and meet different types of people. You can come visit me in my office. Feel free to call me in my room or in my office at any time.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Also with that, I'll come back to you in a second, Derek. But like Robin, obviously they addressed kind of the dancing issue.
Yeah.
And is that true that you ran into? I think I heard some of those myself. Like.
Yeah, I don't need to go into extreme detail on exactly what happened, but it was hard. I think this was the first year it's ever been done, but I did put an official petition in, and Ad Council approved dancing for my event. And I know the community was a little uneasy about it, but I actually had the support of Lisa Paulson the whole time, and she really encouraged me to push the envelope. So I think we're trying to get to the point where we can have that change, but it's really just takes time. We have to take small baby steps because I can only do so much. I definitely don't feel like we're ready to just go do some I don't know.
Right. Like
Anything crazy yet.
Right, right. And with that, I really think that kind of dives to the whole point that I saw right here, and that is what she ended on, and student leadership that is present and pushes until that happens. Like, I know for, like, Derek and Ryan, like, both of you, like, I'm just kind of interested, when stuff like this comes up, do you guys think that it's necessary for people, like, in your positions to kind of go and, like, help, like, officers, like if I were to put something a little more controversial on the show, or if Robin's going to do an event that kind of pushes the envelope a little bit, to like kind of talk and represent us as an SA and us as a student body and go to the administration, maybe release a statement to like the public and the alumni and be like, this is where we are as a campus right now. And like, have you guys done anything like that, or do you think that's part of your role, that like if something were that to come up? Like, I'm just a little curious.
Yeah, you know, I'd certainly be willing to do something like that in the future in terms of like a public statement. I know, you know, if I'm ever asked, if Lisa or if Dr. Paulson or President Osborne ever asks me, you know, my opinion about things, I always tell them straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of like releasing like an official statement or like officially attempting to do any of these things, I don't think I've actually done that, but I'd certainly.
That might be something I think that PUC could extremely benefit from, is because I don't think, a lot of time I think administration knows and understands that there's this level of difference, but probably not the extent of it, because I think a lot of students, at least most of the ones I talk to, you know, that's the first thing they ask me with my event I have coming up is there going to be dancing? Is there going to be dancing? I'm like, no, I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Right. Like, as for you, as a student, do you think that would be like beneficial? What do you see like somebody like Derek or Ryan and some of the executive officers doing that would kind of like help this and smooth that out? Do you have like an opinion on that, like the role of a president in doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that is part of the SA's role, is to be that mediator between the student body and the administration. And so I think if the students have something that they want to make happen, they should talk to the SA officers and you know, get that arranged.
Awesome.
So.
All right. This next question is kind of going to be directed towards Ryan, who's been far too quiet during the show, so let's get right to it. Student politics just seem pointless to me. I see Senate meetings in the fireside room every so often, but I see little progress taking place to show for it. I think the reason for so many students and the reasons that they don't care about it anymore is that Senate doesn't seem to have the power and or the guts to make some real changes. I'd certainly be involved if there was a chance to change things that matter, like curfews or worship credit. But it all gets caught up in talk and political red tape. Instead, the only thing that gets changed is allocating money to buy vacuums. Let's change something and give me a real reason to have interest. Now with that, Ryan, like they basically raised the point and kind of challenged you and Senate a little bit by saying you guys don't have the guts to do that. Do you have any kind of response to that?
I think, well, nothing particular concerning policy changes or anything like that has happened this year in Senate, but Senate has approached issues like that in the past. And it's definitely within our bounds to challenge administration on certain things like that. Yeah. But you have to remember, Senate is made up of students, and a lot of these students are pressed for time. It's a volunteer thing, and you know, it's really up to them to decide that. And you know, if there are these issues that you think need to be pushed, you know, students can come to the meetings, they can voice their opinions, talk to your senators. I mean, we need input from the students as well to know where to actually go with certain things like this.
Right.
And in Ryan's defense, like, I don't think that these are the big issues as curfews and worship credit. I think it's just beating a dead horse. It's something that we've been trying to change for years and years, and it's just that's how it is. It's a Christian campus. And I think Senate has been doing some good stuff. Like I heard with the weight room that it's getting upgraded and stuff. And I think they're going towards realistic goals. So,
you know, to respond to the topics of curfews and worship credit, I know last year we had a bill surface on each of those issues.
Yes.
One to change curfew and the other to change worship credit. For whatever reason, you know, they weren't passed, but these sorts of things do surface.
That's a problem, is nobody sees what doesn't pass. They only see the stuff that does, and unfortunately, that's the stuff that might not be as...
Right.